Hey guys, Luxker here. And Willow, this year so far sure is pretty big for Xenogears news, am I right?
It's about 50-50, I'd say. We do have a lot of interesting stuff coming out, but you know how it is with Xenogears and Square, right?
No, man, I was being sarcastic. It's just that, like, we only got, like, little crumbs of news in general, and then, like, we got, like, a whole ton of Xenosaga news happening. Just, Square Enix hasn't been really, really keeping up with the Xenogears stuff in general, but, I mean, we can make do with what we got. I mean, we just got a little bit of news here and there, but... How you doing, man, by the way? How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Well, I mean, Xenogears is a series that I would be very interested in if there was more news this month, but whatever, it's okay. We'll get started with a little bit of news, and probably something more spectacular in the future, I guess. Only on this new edition of Xeno News, a bi-yearly news series where we talk about news pertaining to Xenogears, Xenosaga, and the Xenoblade games. And in particular, the tiny bit of Xenogears news that I feel like is worth talking about is Soraya. So, I'm gonna just say this outright. Later on this year, I will be making a dedicated video talking about Saga's grand return to the internet and fan bases in general after she retired. But, because lately, she's been talking about, like, stuff that, like, hasn't, like, pretty interesting lore stuff, pertaining to Xenosaga. But in Xenogears' case, she did mention something pretty interesting. So a couple months ago on Twitter, Saga posted that she basically co-wrote Xenogears for free. And I'll be perfectly honest, I don't really know how I feel about that. To get into a little bit more detail, she was in the final stage of writing Xenogears, but she wasn't really at Square Enix working on it because she was pregnant at the time. And she had, like, what's called vanishing twin syndrome. And while she went through this trauma, the doctor told her not to go to work during this situation. And because of that, like, because the base plot was written in earlier years, she basically co-wrote Xenogears for free and didn't even get paid for all her work in general. And, like, her husband, Tetsuya Takahashi, obviously, he wrote in the office, whereas she wrote at home, where she wasn't really on the clock, basically. And so, like, her contributions to Xenogears, which is pretty major in my eyes, like, she wrote Bart's character, she wrote Margie's character, she wrote Emeralda's character, she wrote a lot of really important events in Xenogears' story, and she wrote it all for free, and, like, I honestly don't know how I feel about that, especially when she was going through a lot going on at the time, you know?
Yeah, of course it's just another horrible thing to hear about from, these companies and how they treated, especially Soraya Saga, but, the entire teams of Xenogears, Bamco with Xenosaga. It's just one thing after another. I'm glad she's, like, been able to come online and talk about it a lot, because, talking about this kind of thing and, what's happened with these companies is super important.
Yeah, it's like, I have to feel bad for her just for, like, all the stuff that she went to, like, especially when she wrote yet another piece for free later down the line with Xenosaga Piper. This is, like, the first, like, written piece that she basically wrote for free, all because she wasn't in the office at the time, which it just majorly sucks for, like, anybody to go through. Like, I feel like people should just deserve their time off, like, just for family leave in particular. Like, if you're pregnant and you're raising a child, like, I get that times were different back in Japan at the time, but, like, it just is such a struggle that, like, she just wrote such amazing characters and plot elements to the story, and she just didn't get paid for any of that. It was all Takahashi that got all the credit, and I don't know, it just makes me feel really bad for her. And, like, I'll get into more of this in my dedicated Soraya Saga video, but it just... it's just a prelude for things to come to her, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like I hate to say it, but it's very emblematic of like deeply rooted misogyny and just general exploitation of women in the workplace. Like having obviously it does make sense considering the time frame and deadlines that Xenogears had in place that she would be working from home on
Yeah.
this sort of thing. You know, they had a year. I think they got the extension, right?
Yeah, they got like only a couple years worth of development, so
Like it makes sense that, you know, she might be working just to make sure they can meet that deadline, but not being paid for it is just absolutely abhorrent and, you know, not unexpected from Square, unfortunately.
yeah, it's sad. I mean, I hopefully one day she does like get the like compensation she deserves, whether it's like maybe from her retirement package, like I don't know how much she even got in particular, or maybe like donations from fans for some reason. Like I would throw money at her just for her writing in general, because I love her work so much.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
She contributed to so much love for like actual like stories within Xenogears and Xenosaga that it makes me just want to try to support her as much as I can without like corporate greed getting in the way, you know. But
Yeah, definitely. Like these works would not be the same without her, and I don't think there's like a better example than this probably than I know we're on the Xenogears bit at the moment, but like Xenosaga 2, it's like a clear night and day, like the stuff that she wrote and the stuff that was written by other people. Like her writing is so phenomenal, and it is like the glue that keeps a lot of these games together.
exactly. So, but I mean, I'll talk about Soraya Saga another day, but I think it's time to talk about something even more interesting. So, Willow, I've heard from you that you are part of the Perfect Works Build team, and I got a few questions to ask of you. Do you want me to say them?
Yeah, absolutely. Go. Let's hear the first one.
So what's your position on on the Perfect Works Build team?
Yeah, I've mostly been working on like, for lack of a better term, marketing, a lot of like social media stuff. We actually started a YouTube channel about a year ago, where we've been uploading dev diaries about, you know, what we decided to do with each character and what changes we decided to implement to the combat systems and everything. So if you know you're interested in hearing more about the Perfect Works build, that's definitely a good place to start. We've got a trailer there as well, and obviously like links to all downloads and whatnot if you're interested in trying it out.
Yeah, I mean, you've been doing such amazing work in particular, and like, I'm just really fond of like, even though you're just part of the marketing team for it, that you've been doing such a great job. It got a lot of attention over the past couple years, and like, I'm really like excited for this finally to release. Which, speaking of like another release build date, do you have any information about that at all?
So we've released the Perfect Works build in a bit of a strange way. Basically, we have an open beta, if you will, where or early access maybe would be a better way to put it, where we have all the features that we have currently finished available to everyone at the moment. And if you join our Discord server, basically we have this progress meter for what's been implemented so far. We've just released an update featuring the full retranslation of the main script. It's a pretty huge milestone, and hopefully within a couple years we should be finished with the 1.0 release, which will include some of the finishing touches to the rebalancing, as well as the full complete NPC script updates.
Yeah, like you all, like I said, you all been making really good progress on it. I know that like there was one YouTuber, I don't know if he's part of the team or not, but he's been talking about like some of the like changes in like the character animations and like them using like really unique kinds of attacks and stuff like that. And like I honestly think that's right, like really an incredible way to like mix up the gameplay and stuff with the death blow system originally. And like I'm really looking forward to trying that out in particular. So
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely been one of like the biggest like points
yeah,
that we were really excited about was the death blow.
yeah. So the retranslation, like I've also seen a pretty good progress about it. Do you want to share like any information, like insider information about like how they go about like retranslating the game if they had to like localize the names in a way to like make it like fit the game itself, but also keep it like close to the original script in of itself.
Yeah, and that's another interesting point. Just with all those names, I know it's been a little bit controversial in some circles, which is completely understandable. Obviously, like changing the names of these characters that a lot of older fans are very familiar with and very attached to. At the moment, basically what we're doing with the main script is going through and retranslating everything, including all the names. We'll go back through and do a light retranslation where we'll sort of scrub out a lot of the major name changes, the major script changes, like the iconic "My Father" line at the beginning of the game, that sort of thing.
Yep.
It's a very iconic one, but unfortunately it's kind of a shaky translation, so we'd like to have the option for everyone to be able to play how they want.
Yeah, good old Richard Honeywood, am I right? I mean, he's been through it. He went through a lot.
He did a fantastic job with the time he had, but there were definitely some weak points.
He went through a lot, and like I do agree. Like he did as good of a translation as he can, and then like. But in the amount of time, it just didn't end up being perfect, which is what the Perfect Works build is going to be doing, is by retranslating pretty much the entire script, including NPC dialogue, and then, like, have it be as close to, like, the original Japanese as possible, while also, like, keeping it close to the original localization for, like, names and stuff. Is that correct?
Yeah, and on the subject of names, again, that's definitely been like one of the trickier aspects of the project. This game is so full of references, and it's been a very interesting journey, sort of figuring out what these references were in the first place and sort of pulling them out, because it's not always immediately clear with the Japanese scripts. A lot of times, obviously, given the time this was written in, the developers are reading about these concepts from books written in the 80s, 70s, etc. And they're pulling the Japanese transliterations out of those books. So we need to basically figure out what they were reading and where they might have heard that information, and what that information might actually be. Obviously, with katakana, it's a little hard. There's a lot of different interpretations you could have.
Yeah, I agree. It's like, it's not an easy subject to learn, and even to this day, like, localizers still have a lot of problems, like, determining which is the best localization for this character's name, or this town, or region, or, like, even, like, simple attacks or magic and stuff like that in RPGs. That can take a really long time to localize and figure out, but like, with the fans' help, we can figure it out, like, easily, because we know what original game script is, and, like, it as said in Japanese, but, like, actually localizing it and putting it in a way that, like, makes sense to an English audience, I think is really important, so.
And one thing we do have over the, original translation by Honeywood is that we have as much time as we'd like. I mean, as long as the fans don't get impatient, but...
Yeah, that's the benefit of that. So going on to some other things, actually, I would say my I don't know if I should say acquaintance or friend. I'm just gonna say, like, mutual. Lene Allen was working on, like, redoing, like, the art, because, like, the original version on the PS1 was, like, kind of, like, all pixelated because it had to fit on, like, the resolution of the PS1. And the art that's used here isn't, like, the most high quality in the world, like, compared to, like, what's shown in the artwork in Perfect Works, which is actually high quality artwork, which is what Lene is basing off this from. And I saw she's been really doing a good job. In my first Xeno news video, I was actually like one of my first news stories was talking about her work on the Perfect Works build retouching with the portraits and stuff, and they look incredible. Like she does a lot of great work for art in general, but like just the retouches and making the character portraits like really pop in high resolution like stands out and really brings out a character's personality as well, which was not seen as much on the original PS1 version. So I just wanted to point that out. Any thought on her amazing artwork in general, Willow?
Well, of course, Lynn's art is fantastic in general, but yeah, like just in like all the work she's done on the Perfect Artworks texture pack is just fantastic. If you are a RetroArch user, it is absolutely the best way to go if you're looking for a texture replacement pack. Like, it just looks fantastic. You get the full resolution Tanaka art, like you said, straight out of Perfect Works. It looks phenomenal. I don't think I could go back to the original after.
Yeah, Lene is amazing. Like I've commissioned her like a whole bunch of times, even sketch commissions for Melia lately. I don't know if you ever seen them, but yeah, she just does amazing work in particular. So shout outs to Lene there. And then my second and final question is so I know there's a recompilation for Xenogears in development. Are you basing the Perfect Works build off of the recompilation, or like are you developing onto the recompilation so like you can like play this game natively on PC and not use like any emulator or any PS1 emulator?
We actually haven't reached out to or gotten into contact rather with the developer of that. I do know who it is, obviously, but you know, I would absolutely love to be able to port the Perfect Works build changes over to the decomp that he's been working on. And if that is something, you know, we can do in the future, we would absolutely love to do that, being able to natively have those patches on PC, you know, run texture replacement without needing a specific emulator, being able to do like music replacement, which is something that we would have loved to do, but obviously is something that can't be patched into the game and we need to be on the emulator side. All sorts of like small changes that are a little bit too big for us to do with a patch would be a lot easier to do with a decomp. And, you know, obviously, if that's something in our future, we will definitely be doing that.
Yeah, I mean, this will, even though, like, the Perfect Works build is already fantastic, it would even be way better, like, if you can collaborate with the decompilation group. So, something to consider if the developer of the Perfect Works build ever watches this video. So, but, and finally, my final question I want to ask, does the captain still say, "I am a man of the sea"? Does he still say that in this translation?
We wouldn't dare change that. That's an iconic line, and it's fairly accurate.
Who wouldn't want to change that? That's such an amazing line that, like, if you happen to just take that line out of the Perfect Works build, like, I would not be a happy person, because that's just a line that should just stay and put. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it for the Xenogears news. It's, like I said, it's pretty light, but we got a lot of good information about the Perfect Works build. I'm really excited for it. I'm sure a lot of Xenogears fans are also really excited for it. I'm excited for the decompilation as well, whenever that comes out. I know I haven't been talking about that too much, but there's a decompilation of Xenogears in development right now, and I cannot wait to see if they, like, collaborate and see if they can make Xenogears the best that they can just for everybody to enjoy and not have to deal with the original, like, PS1 downgrades and whatnot, like the PS1 version downgrades. So, but yeah. So, Willow, where can we find you at?
Well, I do have a YouTube channel that I've been a little bit busy and haven't uploaded much, but primarily, I am most active on Discord. I sort of manage, to some degree, the server for the Perfect Works build. So if you're interested in getting like regular updates on the project, or just leaving feedback. We're more than receptive. We'd like to hear feedback from every single person who's willing to give it. It helps us improve the project. It helps us make sure that everyone has options that, allow them to play the game exactly how they'd like to. So if you're interested in, just chatting with the developers, or just, making sure that you're up to date with regular updates, then feel free to join.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I'll definitely link the Discord server in the description of this video, so definitely join if you're very interested in Xenogears stuff. So, thanks everyone for watching until the end. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, comment, and share this video around. And don't forget to follow Willow and subscribe to Willow's YouTube channel as well. And don't forget to join the Discord server. And until next time, see you on the other side!